In this video, we're going to solve a given inequality, and we're going to give the solution in the four types of notation. Recall that the four types of notation are inequality notation, set notation, we have interval notation, and a solution graph, all four of which are very useful in different ways. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first example. We have 3x is greater than 18. Let's go ahead and isolate our variable by dividing both sides by 3. These two terms cancel, so we have x is greater than 6. So this represents our solution set. Our x is greater than 6. So let's go ahead and write this solution set in the four types of notation. So the first type of notation we have is called inequality notation. Inequality notation. And that's basically what we have up here. We have our variable in relation to a given number or set of numbers, and it's combined with an inequality symbol, in this case a greater than sign. So an inequality notation is x is greater than 6. Now in set notation, we want to write this in set notation. Recall that we have the set of all, which is given by brackets, the set of all values x such that is the line straight up and down, such that x is the set of all real numbers greater than 6. So remember, it's read that the brackets included in the set notation are read that the set of all real numbers, set of all values x, such that x is a real number greater than 6. All right, so very useful. That's called set notation. Let's look at interval notation. Interval notation is used in parentheses and brackets. So we have all values greater than 6. So we're going to have 6 right here, but we're not including 6, so we're going to put a parentheses on this side. And this goes all the way into positive infinity. So we have a positive infinity sign, which always carries a parentheses sign because we'd never include infinity in our solution set. So those are 3. Now we have a solution graph. The fourth notation is a solution graph. And a solution graph is simply a number line like this. And we're going to put 6 in the middle. That's generally a good idea. Write a few numbers on both sides, 5, 4, 3, and we know that 6 is not included in the solution set. We're including all numbers greater than 6, so all numbers to the right of 6. So we're going to put a parentheses, an open parentheses, right at the number 6 and shade to the right. Now we used to use in this case, an open circle. We're making the transition from using open circles to parentheses and closed circles to brackets. We're going to put brackets if we included 6. We'd put a bracket right here. So we're not using these anymore. We're using the parentheses and brackets just because we're already using them in interval notation. All right, so just a simple transition. Let's look at a few more examples. Let's say we are given the inequality minus x over 4 is less than minus 9. All right, the first thing we want to do is separate our variable out of our numerator so we can more easily see what the coefficient of x is. So we have minus 1 over 4 times x is less than minus 9. Let's go ahead and multiply the entire inequality by the reciprocal of x, or the reciprocal of the coefficient of x, which is minus 4 over 1. And I apologize, that's minus 4 over 1. This term cancels, which gives us x on the left-hand side, which is less than minus 4 times minus 9 is a positive 36. And we're already forgetting one thing. We need to flip our inequality sign because we're multiplying by a negative number. So this less than sign becomes a greater than sign. Okay, so we need to be careful watching that because that's very easily forgotten about. So let's go ahead and write our solution set in the four types of notation. So we have inequality notation, which is x is greater than 36. We have set notation, which is the set of all values x such that x is a real number greater than 36. That's set notation. We also have interval notation. We're only including the numbers greater than 36. We're excluding the number 36, so we put a parenthesis sign right here, and we're including all the numbers greater than 36 all the way to infinity. Always include a parentheses, close parentheses, when we're dealing with infinity. And the fourth way to write our solution set is with a number line. So a number line just looks something like this. We have 36 in the middle, 37, 38. Putting the number in question right in the middle is actually a good way to easily scale our number line, just like we're scaling graphs, which we learned in the previous section. So we're only including, it helps to look at the interval notation actually when we're making a solution graph. So we have 36, we have a closed parentheses at 36 right here, and we're shading everything to the right because we're looking for all the values greater than 36. All right, so fairly simple. That's our example of 4 different types of notation for our solution set. All right, let's look at a few more. Let's take a look at the following. We have the following inequality: 1/2 x is greater than minus 32. Okay, let's go ahead and multiply the entire inequality by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2/1. This coefficient of x will cancel, just leaving x is greater than or equal to 2 times minus 32 is minus 64. All right, so let's go ahead and write this in the 4 notations. So we have inequality notation, which is what we usually solve for. We have x is greater than or equal to minus 64. We have set notation, which means we're looking at the set of all values x such that x is a real number greater than or equal to minus 64. It's called set notation. We also have interval notation. We're looking at x is greater than or equal to a negative 64. So we're going to include negative 64 in our solution set. So we're going to put a bracket right here at minus 64. And we want all the values greater than minus 64. So this is going to go into positive infinity. Positive infinity is always accompanied by a parentheses, never a bracket. And that's our interval notation for our solution set. And let's go ahead and do the fourth type of notation. Here we have minus 64 in the middle. Let's go ahead and write a few more larger than minus 64 in the positive direction and in the negative direction. Minus 65, minus 66, minus 67. Okay, so we're looking for all the numbers larger than or to the right of minus 64, but we're going to include minus 64 by placing a bracket, an open bracket at minus 64. And we have all the values to the right of 64 larger than minus 64 is included in our solution. So we're shading to the right. All right, we're almost out of time, but we'll do some more videos, some more examples in the next section. We are solving inequalities and writing our solution set in the 4 different types of notation. So I'll see you in the next video.